country still on a high as it celebrates its newest sporting hero, tennis ace Alex Eala.
World number 51, the highest ranking any Filipino tennis player has ever achieved. Alex Eala just made history on October 27th, 2025. But instead of celebrating, she's walking off another court in defeat. Her Hong Kong Open doubles campaign ended in a heartbreaking 3-set loss today, adding to a string of disappointing results that has everyone asking the same questions. Why is Alex Eala losing back-to-back matches right now? Is this just bad timing in an otherwise incredible season? Or is it bad luck catching up with her at the worst possible moment? Could there be an injury we don't know about that's secretly destroying her performances? And the biggest question that nobody wants to ask, but everyone is thinking, does Alex Eala need to change her coach to break out of this slump and finally crack the top 50? These aren't just random questions from worried fans. These are legitimate concerns that need answers, because what's happening to Alex Eala right now doesn't make any sense. How does a player reach a career-high ranking while simultaneously losing match after match? How does someone who beat Iga Swiatek, Madison Keys, and Jelena Ostapenko without dropping a set just months ago suddenly look completely lost against players she should be beating? Something is broken, and we need to figure out what it is before this slump turns into something far more serious that derails her entire career. Let's start with today's brutal reality. Alex Eala and her doubles partner Chon Hao-ching crashed out of the Hong Kong Open in the first round, losing to Alexandra Sasnovich and Kamila Rakimova in 3 exhausting sets. This was supposed to be Eala's victory lap week, the tournament where she celebrated her historic ranking achievement and pushed even higher toward the top 50. Instead, it's become another chapter in a month-long nightmare that has fans genuinely worried about what's going wrong. And here's the thing that makes this even more painful. This isn't an isolated incident. The losses have been piling up like a car crash in slow motion, and each one is more concerning than the last. Just 2 weeks ago at the Japan Open in Osaka, Eala was absolutely demolished by 18-year-old Czech qualifier Tereza Valentova in a match that can only be described as a disaster. The scoreline was 6-1, 6-2. 74 brutal minutes where nothing worked, nothing clicked, and Eala looked completely lost on court. Valentova broke Eala's serve 6 times out of 10 opportunities. She won only 28% of her second serve points. She committed 4 double faults. After the match, even Eala admitted the painful truth, saying today wasn't her day in terms of finding solutions. Before Japan, there was Guangzhou. Eala dominated qualifying by crushing Elena Pridankina 6-2, 6-2, and fans thought she'd found her form again. Then came the main draw, and Claire Liu knocked her out in the round of 32. Another early exit, another missed opportunity. Go back even further, and you'll find the Wuhan Open qualifying round where Moyuka Uchijima beat her. The pattern is undeniable and deeply concerning. But here's where it gets interesting and where the injury questions become impossible to ignore. Back in late July and early August, Alex Eala withdrew from both the Cincinnati Open and the Monterrey Open due to a shoulder injury. The WTA confirmed the shoulder problem was serious enough to force withdrawals from 2 significant tournaments. During her first-round match at the Montreal Open against Marketa Vondrousova, her left shoulder was heavily wrapped in kinesiology tape, and she lost that match after taking the first set, dropping the next 2 sets 1-6, 2-6. The shoulder clearly affected her performance at Montreal, and Eala posted on social media afterward, saying it was time to rest and recover. But here's the million-dollar question. Did she actually recover, or has she been playing through pain and discomfort ever since? At the Jingshan Open in late September, there were reports of another injury scare, though she managed to overcome it and continue competing. Is it possible that Alex Eala's body is breaking down under the relentless grind of professional tennis, and these recent losses aren't about form or confidence, but about physical limitations she's hiding from the public? Think about it logically. A player doesn't go from beating the world's best to losing in straight sets to qualifiers unless something fundamental has changed. Either the body isn't working properly, the mind isn't in the right place, or the game plan has completely fallen apart. And that brings us to the coaching question that's becoming impossible to avoid. At the start of the 2025 season, Eala made a significant change by beginning to work with Alexandro Villaine, known as Sandro, another coach from the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy. Villaine put her through an intense preseason training block with double tennis sessions and double fitness sessions every day. He praised her work ethic and said the preseason was very productive. That was back in the off-season when everything looked promising and the hard work was supposed to translate into consistent results. But here's the uncomfortable truth that needs to be said. Since that coaching setup, Eala has experienced the highest highs and the lowest lows of her career. Yes, she reached her career best ranking of world number 51, but the actual match results over the past month have been devastating. Before Villaine, Eala was working with Daniel Gomez, also from the Rafa Nadal Academy. She's also worked with Joan Bosch at various points this year. The question burning in everyone's mind is whether the coaching situation has disrupted something fundamental in her game. Is there a disconnect between what she's working on in practice and what's happening in matches? Does she need a fresh perspective from someone outside the Rafa Nadal Academy system? Sometimes a player needs a coach who will completely shake up their approach, challenge their habits, and bring a new voice to the team. Eala has been within the Rafa Nadal Academy ecosystem for years now, and while that system developed her into a top 60 player, can it take her into the top 30, into the top 20? Or does she need someone with experience coaching players at the elite level? Someone who has guided others through the exact struggles she's facing right now? The coaching decision could be the single most important choice Eala makes in the coming months, and the recent string of losses suggests that change might be necessary. But firing a coach or making a major team change is a huge risk. What if the problem isn't the coaching at all? What if it's the schedule, the injury, or simply the natural growing pains of a young player adjusting to life in the top 100? Let's look at what else has been happening. Even in tournaments where Eala showed flashes of brilliance, the endings have been heartbreaking. At the Suzhou WTA 125 in late September and early October, she beat Katarzyna Kawa in a 3-hour marathon, then survived another epic battle against Grietmanen, winning 7-6, 6-7, 7-5 in one of her longest matches of the year. The heart was there. The fighting spirit was alive. But when it came time to close out the tournament in the quarterfinals, she fell to Victoria Golubic, losing the crucial third-set tiebreaker 0-7. A bagel tiebreak. That's the kind of collapse that haunts a player's mind for weeks. Go back to the Jingshan Open, and you'll see the same pattern. Eala reached the semifinals, playing spectacular tennis along the way, only to crumble against eventual champion Lulu Sun, losing 6-3, 4-6, 2-6 after winning the first set. It's becoming a script that repeats itself tournament after tournament. Eala starts strong, shows glimpses of the player who shocked the world in Miami, and then something breaks down when the pressure intensifies. So is this bad luck or bad timing?